All right, welcome back. Good morning. In this video, we're going to be adding code blocks to your app to get functionality. Okay. So once again, as we talked about on Tuesday, that this GUI becomes a checklist for me. How many people remember that? This becomes a checklist for me. Okay. What button are we going to hit first? The camera button. So I'm going to go ahead and start. We're just going to go and hit the camera button. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through red, green, and blue. When I take the picture, I'm going to call the camera. I'm going to make sure the camera inserts the picture onto the canvas, and where I'm going to show you how to connect your app today and check it. Okay. But here's the thing. Your GUI has to be set up before you get code blocks, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and click on blocks. I'm no longer looking at the GUI, but if you look over here on the left-hand side, does everybody see the left-hand side in blocks? Thumbs up if you see the left-hand side in blocks. Who sees the left-hand side in blocks? All right, so if I want my camera button, I'm clicking on the camera button over here, and code blocks are going to come up of my choices that I can choose from the camera. Does everybody see that? You got to go blocks to get that. Some of you are still on GUI view. You got to go to code view or does blocks view. Okay, so now if I want something for the red button, look at this. I click on red button. There's all my choices for the red button. And you guys, as a developer, just read through here. Your brains can figure out what's in there. Are you with me? It's just like English. Oh, look at that. Oh, touch up, touch down, lost focus, long click, got focus. There's a click. Are you guys with me on this? So if you don't have the red button in there, guess what? You're not going to have this over here in your toolbox to be able to click on it. You're not going to have the green button, the blue button, the canvas. Okay? So here's my accelerometer. Here's my sound clip. Here is a speech recognizer. Here's a camera. I don't know. I'm supposed to give those out today. All right, so you guys with me on this? All right, here we go. We're back. So remember, like what we talked about Tuesday, what's the first button that I'm going to click? If you're going to start this app, if you're going to role play through this app, what's the first button you're going to click? Camera button, okay? So I'm going to BTN take pic. That's what we called it here. So then I say when I click on this, and I drag it over into here. So go ahead and do that. Raina, are you going to your code window? You got to go to your code window. What? What's blank? There's nothing on your GUI? You have to save your work. Project save every time. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's your engineering design paper. I can't go back over it right now. You can come in today after school. I can help you. Remember, on Thursdays I'll be here after school for till about 3:30. So when I take the picture, what am I going to call? What takes the picture? The camera. So I go to my camera and I say call camera, take picture. It just took the picture. When here, I'll blow this up a little bit. Can you guys see that? So I drag over when the BTN take pic button is pressed. I want to call the camera to take the picture. Who understands that? Was that hard? No, it's really not. What? The camera is, you should have a camera on your screen called camera 1. If it's not there, then you never drag the camera over onto your GUI. Do you have a camera on your, like Raina, I don't see a camera on yours. So you got to drag a camera in. Let's go back to my GUI, okay? You guys have to have non-visible components. What non-visible components do we need? We need a camera 1. We need a speech recognizer. We need a sound, and we need an accelerometer. You need to drag all those into your GUI. Because if it's not there, you can't call camera 1 to take the picture. Are you guys with me on that? Are you guys with me on that? If you don't have a camera on your GUI, you can't tell the camera to take a picture. That's why it has to be on your GUI first. That's why we build our GUI first. All right, so here we go. I'm going back into my code blocks. All right. Now, it just took a picture. Am I done? You know, what are all the things you can do with a picture? Well, you can do a lot with a picture, right? You could send it to Facebook. You could send it to Instagram. Okay. So now there's something inside of camera. You have to tell the camera, hey, when you're finished, after you take the picture. So you go right here. When the camera 1.after picture. After you take the picture, what do I want to do with it? Where should I send the picture? To the canvas. Okay? So now, guess what I go click on? What am I going to go click on? The canvas. Yes? You probably have your report. So, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say, there it is. Go and set my canvas, my pic.background image to, okay? And here's the hardest part of this whole coding exercise. You ready? Your image is right here. Do you guys see this little image here? Okay. Has anyone ever played Mario before? You ever see those little gold coins above your head when you're running in Mario? I call these little gold coins. And every time this little thing here is above your head, you want to go look at it and see what's in there. Are you guys with me on this? So when the camera takes a picture, this is that picture that it took. So I want to say, okay, get me that image that you just took. Okay, so how do I get that little orange block there? Well, everything's color coded here. I just go to image and I get the image. Okay, you see how I did that? So I want to say, hey camera, you know that image you just took? I want that. I want that image. Get me that image that you just took and set that to the background image of my canvas. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to connect now. Are you guys ready? Who has this code block in? These two code blocks? Let me ask you this question. Was it that hard to do those code blocks? Was it that hard? No, you're going to click the button. You're going to tell the button to call the camera. Hey camera, take a picture. After you take a picture, then I want to send it to my canvas's background image. And the hardest thing is you got to know to, get the image right here from image. And that's where I'm telling you right now, you got to think of that as a gold coin in Mario. Go and click on that gold coin, try to get it and see what's inside the gold coin. Maybe it's a power up, maybe it's whatever. All right, so we are now ready to connect. Okay, so go ahead and hold up your companion. Make sure it's on. Okay, power up your companion. Turn it on. If it's not on, it won't work. Am I right? I hate to state the obvious there, but if it's not on, it won't work. I got to record this. So next to project is a connect button. Your connect menu. Emily. What? Okay, well then you may not have camera down here. You need to add a camera to your GUI. All right. So I'm going to go to connect and I'm going to click on AI Companion. This screen's going to come up. And notice this is a barcode screen reader, like a QR reader. You guys with me on that? So now all you do is you guys should, and it should be on your home page. If it's not, go ahead and put the MIT app on your home page. You guys know how to do that. Just click it down, hold it, and drag it to the home page. So now I'm going to click on MIT, and there's two ways to connect you. This is a test question. Two ways to connect your device. What are those two ways? You can either connect with a code, and you could type in the 6-digit code. I don't encourage you to do that. Or you could just scan QR code. So I hit the blue scan QR code. I scan that in, and then I wait a second. Don't hit any other buttons, and it should run my app. Okay? You see that? So now I can click on my camera button, and you know, mine didn't come through all the way, so I'm going to connect. I'm going to do reset. Okay? Because it's sending this wirelessly, sometimes all the data doesn't transmit wirelessly, so then I have to reset it sometimes. I hit reset, I hit AI Companion, I go back, I hit MIT, I hit scan with QR code, and I scan in the QR code. I wait, don't hit any other buttons, and there it comes up. Does everybody see that? Now, I should be able to click on my camera button, and what's it call? Well, look at that. It calls my camera to take a picture. I take a picture, I hit check mark, that's the one I want, and then does it send it to my background image? Why, yes, it does. Okay, why does it send it to my background image? Because that was the code that I told to do. Yes. You're not doing it right. Are you with me? You got to use your common sense brain. You guys have done a puzzle before, right? If the puzzle doesn't fit, then that puzzle piece doesn't go there. Okay? So that's how the MIT students made this. They made this so it puzzles together. All right? So I have this working. I'm ready to move on. Okay? So what happens next? Remember the role play that we did? What should I click on next? Okay, so you guys aren't getting this, so I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do next. We're gonna set the red color so we can draw on it. Okay, so I'm gonna go click on my red button. Okay, when I click on BTN red, what do I want to do? I want to set the pen color, and where is the pen color? It's on the canvas. And if you can say this stuff, it's real simple because now I know to go look at my canvas. So I'm gonna go to my canvas, scroll down. And you're going to see, well, look at it. Well, there it is. Set my paint color. Okay. Now, these are cool. If you guys go up here, there's controls, all kinds of control stuff up here. There's logic up here, true, false, not, equal to, math. If you want to do math, you look in this math box. Text. Here's all some stuff you can do to text if you're dealing with text, like a text box. Lists. I'll show you how to do lists later on this year. Colors. There you go, colors. So I want a color right now. So I'm going to go drag my red color. I want to set the red color to red. Imagine that. Okay? Now, let me show you this. This is kind of fancy here. Do you think the blue button and the green button are similar to this one in operation? Yeah. Yeah, you know, you're going to do the same thing. If I click on the green button, it's going to call the same thing, paint color, and set it to green. So watch this. I'm going to right-click on my block, and I'm going to duplicate it. Okay? I'm going to duplicate it once, and I'm going to duplicate it twice. And now I get a little red arrow. So just tell your computer to hang on. Say, computer, hang on. Okay? It doesn't like it because now we have 3 duplicates of the red button. It doesn't like that. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to click on BTN red. I'm going to change it to green. This color, I'm going to change it to green. This BTN red, I'm going to change it to blue. This color right here, I'm going to change it to blue. Who understands what I just did? Was that easy to copy and paste and duplicate that? Yeah. So now I have all 3 of my buttons working. But guess what? We have nothing in here to paint with. Right? How do we paint on our canvas? How are we going to paint? Go through your app again. You got to role play the app in your brain. Just act like you're holding up this app in front of you. How are you going to paint on that picture that we just sent there? With your finger. Very good. And what's the finger on? The canvas. Very good. You have to say that. Was it that hard to think that way? No, it's not that hard to think that way. So I have to think, okay, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to swipe on the canvas. So here we go. We go to my canvas. And look at that. There's a drag. So there is a drag function inside of my canvas. When I drag, what am I really doing to the canvas? What are we drawing? We went over this the other day. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a, yes, line. Come get yourself a piece of candy. I'm drawing a line. So I'm going to go back to my canvas function, and I want to find something where it says, hey, draw a line. So I scroll down, and look at that. Call canvas my pick, draw a line. Do you see that? So now I'm going to drag that into my box. That should fit in there and puzzle in there. Do you see that? And yes, it does. How many points do you need to draw a line? Yes. No. How many points do you need to draw a line? 4? Kind of. If you're thinking about the x and y separate, are you thinking about the x's and y's separate? Yeah, then you would need 4. You need 2 coordinate points, right? You need 4 individual points, so I understand what you're saying. So you need 4 points. You need x1, y1, that's 1 coordinate point. You need x2, y2. All right, so all you're going to do here is, I can't remember if we did start x or previous x, so we'll just go ahead and try this. I think it's the previous x, and go get the previous y, and then I want to go to the current x and the current y. Okay, let's go ahead and test our app, see if it works. How do we test? So once again, remember, these are like gold coins above Mario's head. You want to just put your mouse on there and see if you can, what you can get out of it. So I went from previous x to previous y, and from current x to current y. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and test this to see if I can draw on it. So I'm going to click on my AI companion, reset, AI companion. That comes back up. Go ahead and start your tablet again, which is your AI companion. Go back. I want to click on my MIT app. I'm going to scan this in, see if it comes up. Wait a second. All right, there it is. I take a picture, check mark it, send it to the canvas. I click on my red, and now I can draw a red line. I click on my green, and I can draw a green line. I click on my blue, and I can draw a blue line. How many people can draw on their blue line? Okay. The colors from the color box. There's a box that says colors. See it? You guys need to just cruise through these packages over here on the left-hand side. At some point in time, you just need to click over here and say, oh, what's in procedures? What's in variables? What's in control? And you can just start teaching yourself how to do this stuff if you just take some time and click through there. What's in the colors? Colors, imagine that. Now, do you guys also notice how everything is color-coded here? Okay, that's why when I do printouts, I'll always do color printouts, so that this is color-coded. How many people have their app working with lines being drawn on the page? Good. Was this that hard to do? Do you guys see how I'm always asking this question? Erase what? The drawings. Where are the drawings? On the canvas. Do you understand why I'm saying that? Because if you know to canvas, then if you know that you're erasing the canvas, if you can think that way, then all I have to do is go over here and go to canvas, and I go over here and I look for, well, there it is. Clear my canvas. Do you see how easy that was? But if you can't think that I'm clearing the canvas, then you're not going to know where to go get that code from. That's why I try to talk you through this and say, tell me, what are you clearing? And when you're developing on your own, you need to talk to yourself. Okay, I'm shaking the device. I want to go and clear what? Clear what? I want to go and clear the canvas. Okay, so now that clears the canvas. Okay, what's next? Voice button, BTN voice. When you click on the voice button, what are you going to call? The, not canvas. You have to call the speech recognizer. Call the speech recognizer and get the text. Okay, they're going to say erase. They're going to say change the pen color to orange. They're going. You with me? So I'm getting what they're saying. Okay. Now this is just like the camera. You have to get it, take the picture, and then after you take the picture, you have to do something. You with me? So here we have to get the text, and then we're going to go after we get the text. Let's go back to speech recognizer. And here we go, after getting the text. After I get the text, okay, there's one thing I want to do here, okay. No, I'll show you how to do it. I was going to say, yeah, let me show you how to use the label. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to go to my labels, and I'm going to drag a label in here, okay, and I'm going to rename this label. I'm going to call it LBL. What? It's what they say, right? So what do I want to call that? LBL. I dragged the label into next to my voice button down there. So what do I want to call this? LBL speech, I guess. I don't know. We'll say LBL. We'll use LBL spoken words. Does that make sense? Whatever they spoke into the device, we're going to put it in here. Are you with me? So if they say hi mom, then we're going to show hi mom in here. I don't have to worry about the text that's in there. I'll say this is hi mom. Okay, hi mom. All right, so we're going to change that so it won't matter. All right, so now I go to blocks, and then after, I'm going to set this LBL spoken words text to whatever they said. So I'm going to get that result. Okay? What are you doing? Okay, so you have to have your design engineering paper out, and you have to make your GUI. It's right there. I have an entire video on how to make the GUI. You can watch that video. It's so important that you guys have this GUI finished. Are you with me? Because if you don't have the GUI done, you can't be doing what I'm doing here. So that's why I have videos, guys. If you miss a day, man, you got to figure out what we did, and you got to go watch that video and get it done. Because I can't sit here and wait for, you know, people that missed. If you missed, I mean, I don't know. I can't teach you if you're not here. Okay? So that's why I am making the videos. So please, if you miss, go check out those videos and get caught up. Okay? I know it can be done because I have students already that they're ahead of me. I have students that already have finished this app because they've watched the GUI video and they watched the block video, and they're moving on. So I know students can go home and do this because I have students doing this, okay? So after we get the text, we got to find out what they said. So now we have to do an if statement, and this is probably the toughest portion of this. You're going to go here to control, and you're going to do an if. Here it is, if. You want the if with the little blue button on it. That blue button is called a morph button. Okay? This is a test question. Let me show you what the morph button does. The morph button, if I click on it, once again, it's like a gold coin. Click on it. It's allowing you to change this else statement. So you can say, okay, if they say erase, if they say delete, if they say, are you with me? We can have as many, we can figure out however many things we want to put in here. If you want 100 if statements in here, you can have 100 if statements in here. If you want 50, you put in 50. If you want 20, you put in 20. Okay, you guys with me on that? So that is called a morph button. It allows you to change this if statement. That's a test question. Okay? So now, I'm going to say, I'm going to use logic here, and I'm going to say if equals. So I'm going to say if get result is equal to, I got to figure out what they said, right? So now I'm going to go get a text box, a text, because they're saying text, right? What? The green is in the green box. And this is where I said you got to pay attention to the colors. You just go get the green logic, and I went and got an equals. Okay? And then I put in my get result in there, get results from up here. And then I put in a text box. That's from the text box. And you go to text box and you get a, okay? 5 minutes left. So if they say erase, what do I want to do? Erase what? Yeah, I want to erase the canvas. So basically all you have to do is go here and call canvas, duplicate this. Okay. Now let me duplicate this whole green box. Erase is call. Oh, where is erase? I typed it in there. Like right here. Well, I'm going to do it again. Okay, you ready? What happens if they say delete? If they say delete, what am I going to do? I'm going to clear the canvas. Okay. So I'm going to call do the same thing. Clear the canvas. What's another word they could say that would erase? Clear? Okay, so what happens if they say clear? So I'll duplicate this. And if they say clear, and by the way, this was very, very, very hard for me to figure out. But when I did this the first time, I did capital E, capital E-R-A-S-E. Guess what? Did it work? Did not work. And that's why I put the text box there, that label. Because every time I would say erase, I had to figure out it was coming in lowercase. Siri does not know uppercases. Are you guys with me on this? So the first time that I did this, I was very frustrated because I kept saying erase, erase, erase. And because I had a capital E in there, it wouldn't erase. Because the word erase with the lowercase e is not the same word as erase with an uppercase E. Who understands me on that? That's how detail-oriented you have to be in a computer. Okay? So let's go ahead and connect this, and let's see if it works. Reset your companion. Go ahead. Test it. Fire up your device. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to hit the question mark. There it is. I'm going to draw on it. I'm going to do a little green smiley face. And then I'm going to erase. Okay, now down here it says array. That's why it didn't erase. Okay? Erase. Okay, now, once again, it's not erasing right now. Why? That's funny. Why? Why is it not erasing? Capital E. Very good. So I can't have a capital E in here. So I have to do a lowercase e. Okay? And now I can hit erase. Clear.